And welcome to today's session. Today we are taking on another interesting topic within Power BI. It's one of the new features in the last, I think, like 1.5 years that this feature became available within Power BI. So we're going to be exploring field parameters in Power BI. And our presenter today is Brian. I'm going to introduce him later. Okay, so this webinar series is brought to you by Your BizEdge and MHS Analytics. Your BizEdge, we're a Nigerian Microsoft Excel, Power BI, financial modeling, training and consulting company. So if you have any training needs or consulting needs within the domain of Excel, Power BI, financial modeling, SQL, and Python, we are one of your best resources to reach out to. And I'm going to share our digital resources platform so you can access some free resources and some cheap ones too. So we'll share the link. If you are planning to take the advanced financial modeler examination, you can download the mock exam there. We've got like some templates and mock exams for you to access for free. MHS Analytics is a Canadian entity, same business, but just catering to the North American market. So if you have friends in North America, or you are actually here or trying to move here, or you have people in Europe who will feel more comfortable engaging our North American arm, then yes, MHS Analytics is our North American arm. We already have a few clients already in Canada and US, and so we operate at the quality level that is expected. So, okay, our speaker today is Brian Bardi. He's a data analyst with over 3 years of experience in dashboard design, reports, data extraction, pipeline development, and statistical analysis. He's passionate about using data to solve real world problems, and he's done this for a few clients. I'm going to share his LinkedIn profile so you can connect with him. But right now, I'm going to hand over the session to Brian so that he has all the time he needs to take us through his demo. So, Brian, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Good evening, everyone. As Michael said, my name is Brian, and today we'll be talking about field parameters in Power BI. So I don't know if some people are familiar with field parameters. I'll be interested to hear what you say on the chat box. So this is a very interactive class, and this class would be long because I'm just focusing on a particular topic, field parameters, and I'll also be comparing it with I'll be talking about how this particular example I'm going to give, how you can achieve it with a bookmark, as that was the original way you could do all these things, and how you can now do it with field parameters. So, for example, let's say you have a data set, right? And you want to toggle the view. That is, you want to change between one data set with the other one, right? I mean, you want to toggle
Brian,
the view between. Yeah, I can hear you.
when do you intend to share your screen? It's still mine, I think, that's been shared.
Yes, yes. I've not shared my screen yet.
Okay, all right.
I'll share it soon.
Okay, all right, go on.
Okay, so when you want to change the view between maybe one visualization to another. Let's say you're using the same visualization, right? Okay, let me just share my screen and give you an example. Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we
Okay,
see your screen.
okay, I'm going to call this page bookmark, right? So here we're going to create a bookmark. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to give an example of how this particular scenario used to be done, but because of field parameter, I'm not going to now show you another way how this can now be done, an easier way. So let's say, for example, you have in my data set here, I have this is like a pizza company, right? So we have data sets of sales and pizza types and branch locations and the rest of them, right? So I'm going to just create a simple column chart, right? So let me create this column chart here. Please, if you have any question, always put it on the chat box. I'll be looking at the chat box from time to time. So this column chart, right? And you want to compare between total sales and by branch. So I'm just going to put total sales on the y-axis, and I'm going to put branch from my branch data here on the x-axis, right? And this is one view for total sales by branch. And let's say you want to also have another data, like another visualization, not necessarily another visualization, but you want it to be on the same space, right? And you just want to toggle between this visualization and that visualization, right? So how do you go about it? So historically, it's bookmarks. So that's what I'm just trying to go through, right? So let's just make it make more sense. Let me insert some buttons so that mm, or rather some shapes. Just insert some buttons, left arrow, and I'll also insert right arrow. And I'm going to place them on top of my visualization, right? Okay. So sorry, I'm just trying to make sure it's aligning well. So let's say this is total sales by branch. Let's say I want to see total quantity by branch that's on top of this same visualization. And the only thing I want to use to navigate through that is using this direction key. Okay. So that's where bookmark comes in, right? But bookmarks is not what I'm teaching you today, as I said, is just field parameter. So this is actually the longer way of doing it, but I'm just going to show you to you still. So I'm going to I'm going to go to my view tab, and I'm going to go to bookmark, right? To expand this. So this is for me to create a new bookmark. And I'm also going to expand my selection tab, right? So this selection tab basically is just showing me all the icons and visuals I have on that report page, right? So on this report page, I have two buttons and I have one visual, all right? So I'm also going to create, I'm also going to put another, okay, let me just call this sales view. So I'm just going to add bookmarks and call this a sales view. So you just do that by clicking on add bookmarks, and you can rename it by double clicking on it and call it sales view, right? So I'm also going to link this button. I'm going to link this button to the sales view. So I'm going to do that by formatting it, clicking on and selecting the type of action is I want it to be bookmark action, and the bookmark is sales view, right? So whenever I hit the button, it's going to show me this view. So the next thing I'm going to do, as I said, I want to toggle between two visualizations, two visuals, right? So the next one is total quantity by sales. So I'm still going to put, um, maybe I can put maybe a bar chart, and I'm going to put the bar chart directly on top of this column chart I used for sales view. And the information on this bar chart is going to be total quantity. I'll put the quantity on the x-axis, and I'll put the branch on the y-axis. Okay, so I'm going to create a new bookmarks and call this quantity view. Okay, so, and I'm also going to link this button, to the quantity view. Okay. So um so let's see whether it's going to work. So if I click on this one, I'm seeing total quantity. If I click on this one, I'm still seeing total quantity. That's because there's something I'm yet to do. So let's say this one is supposed to be for the sales view, right? Um, let me just okay, or rather, let me just okay. So I'm going to come here to this selection area. So here I have so this let me put this total quantity on the let me just push it on the right. So the first one is the sales view, obviously. So I want when I click on this sales view, that is when I click on this button, I want to see the total sales. That is this screen, right? And I want the total quantity by branch to be hidden. All right. So that is this bookmarks. Then for the other one, oh sorry, I got it wrong. Sorry, let me just delete it and start again. Okay. So okay. So again, let me just start again. Sorry. So I want to create the first visual, which is the column chart. I'm just going to put it under here, as I said before. And I'm going to put, this is going to be the sales and branch, right? So I'm going to, on the selection, I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. I don't have to, but just for, I like my work being arranged. So this view is going to, I'm going to also create another chart that I'll place on top of this one. Um, and I'll put a bar chart. I'm just going to put it directly on top of this particular chart. And this is going to be quantity by branch. Okay. And I'm going to, on the selection panel, I'm going to take it to the bottom. So now I have my sales view visible here, right? So I want to create a bookmark so that when I click on the bookmark, it's going to show my quantity is going to be hidden and my sales view is going to be in view. So I'm just going to add bookmark and create what do you call it? Sales view. Then I also want to do another bookmark whereby my sales will be hidden, but my quantity will be visible. So I'm going to add bookmark and call it quantity quantity view. Okay, so if I toggle around my bookmark, I can see exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so let me just input it. Let me just make it align with the buttons. So this particular button, I'm going to use this button to toggle to my sales view. So I'm just going to click on the button, go to format, the same way I did it before, action. I've already selected bookmark. Then under bookmark type, I'll put sales view. I want the button to be associated with sales view. Then the other button, I want it to be associated with quantity view. Okay. So now let's test it to see whether it's working. So if I click on this, I'm going to my quantity. And if I click on this, I'm going to my sales. So I mean, as we all did it, you can see how long this whole process was, right? So that is how to toggle visualizations using bookmark. So now let me introduce today's topic. So today's topic now is field parameters. So field parameters now help you avoid all this stress in the sense that there is now a new way. I mean, it's not really entirely new. It was unveiled by May 2022, and it helps to it makes some of already existing Power BI functions, not really as efficient as they. I mean, it's just a new way to present your data, just like doing what I just did now, toggling between one visual to another visual. You can do that with field parameters. Okay, so let me create another page so I can, and I'm just going to call this. I'm going to put it back here. I'm going to call this parameters. If you have any question, you can always ask questions. I'm going to be checking the chat box for questions. So, okay. So at the beginning of the class, I also dropped a link on the chat box. It's a blog that my colleague wrote. She wrote on how to use field parameters. So in case you want to still read up about it, you can always come and visit this blog here, or you can always wait until we will upload this the video of this class on YouTube, and then you can anyone you want, either you watch or you read about it. Okay, so let's go back. So parameters. So the first thing I'm going to do, right? Um, in order to so what is parameters? So what else can you use parameters for? So let me just summarize it this way. It helps users switch between like different fields and on the axis and on the legends, and also between measures and charts, in the sense that you can toggle between all these things on the same visualization, right? So let's give you an example. So another thing you have to know is that in case you don't have it activated, because if you want to go to field parameter now, you have to go to modeling, and you see your field parameter under new parameters fields. So in case you don't have it activated on your Power BI, that means you're using either you're using an older Power BI that has not been updated, or you're yet to activate it. So let me show you how you activate it. So you can simply go to your file. From file, you go to options and settings. From options and settings, you go to options. From options, mine is still loading. From options, you go to preview features, and you will see field parameters here. So you just want to check it and click OK. All right. So mine is already working, so I'm not going to check anything. All right. So let's create a visual. So the visual I created initially, um I created a column chart, right? And this column chart has two information. I'm comparing the total sales by the branch. Okay. So in order to do what I did before using bookmarks, using field parameters, I'm simply going to add a new parameter. So I'll just go to modeling, go to new parameters, expand the drop down, and click on select fields, right? So it opens up this parameters pops up. So I want to rename this because I'm going to be creating more than one parameter, so they can have unique names. So I'm just going to leave this as parameter one to save time. And what is going to be on my parameter one, I'm going to put sales, and I'm going to put quantity. These are the things I want to see on this particular parameter. And I'm going to check that I want to add slicers to this page. I mean, it's automatically checked, but you can uncheck it, but I want it in my own case, and I'm going to click on create. Okay. So this slicer pops up here. So I'm just going to adjust it and put it here at the top. Okay. So I just created my parameter. So basically what I want is to use this parameter to toggle between views. So this is already showing, this is sales by branch. So if I want to put sales by quantity, I'll click on sales by quantity, but nothing is happening. That's because I've not yet added it to the visual. So I'm going to click on this particular visual and go to my x-axis, where I have total sales. I'm going to okay, before I come here, there's another important thing I have to let you know. So now when we put our parameter one, right, it also comes here as a table, right? So let me just switch to my table view so that you can see parameter one. It comes here as a table. right, among your in your data, in the data part of your page. And then you can see two of these, it gives you three tables automatically, right? In which two are hidden and one is shown. So this one is the name of this one is the column name, right? Why this one, or the measure name, why this one is the field name, why this one is the sorting order. So that is what all these things mean. But on your table, only okay, this one is actually visible. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that. Then also you want to see how the DAX is, because we'll also be coming back here to the DAX. So if you want to make adjustment, maybe you want to add a new column, because all these things, I mean, you want to add a new, in this case, a new measure among this particular parameter. You have to, you cannot really edit it from elsewhere. You have to come here and, add a new line and copy it. But we'll come here later. But I'm just trying to show you this, right? So let's go back to our report view. So now we were trying to put our parameters in this visual. So as I said, on this visual, I'm going to take out this total sales from the x-axis, and I'm going to replace it with this parameter one, right? So now if I toggle on, so now it's on total sales, so I can see the total sales by branch. And if I click on, sorry, it's on total quantity, I can see total quantity by branch. And if I click on total sales, I will see the total sales by branch, right? It's as easy as possible. It replaces the previous step, right? So it's also, you can actually combine these two with more parameters. Okay, let's give an example, right? Let's say we want to see number of orders, right? We want to also add number of orders here. We want to see total sales, total quantity, and we also want to see number of orders here. So how do we do that? So remember I said that in order to edit your parameter, you have to come here, right? So when you want to add a new parameter, all you have to do is you have to just copy the existing, like maybe probably the last line, Control C, and you want to Alt Enter for a new line, and Control V to paste. So this total quantity, we want to rename it as, because remember I said what we want to put here is number of orders. So we want to put this as number of orders. And this is the measure table. Where are we picking it from? We're picking it from the measure table number of orders. Let me just do that. Measure table number of orders. And another important thing to know is the sort order. So this is 0, 1. This one is going to be 2. And another thing to also know is that since I've put a new line, after the previous line, like after every line, there should be a comma. So I'm going to put a comma here, and I'm going to hit enter. So you can see that the new orders have automatically been added to our parameters. So I'm going to go back to my report view and test out the new adjustment I just made. And now I can still see my parameters, like my number of orders among my parameters, and I can still toggle using the same visualization, toggle from one view to another view. Okay, so in a situation whereby you want to you can also use field parameter, like can also use field parameters as a legend, right? In this particular chart, I put okay, okay, let me do this. Let me put these parameters here as a legend, so you see how it's going to be. And I'm going to take branch and put on the y-axis, or maybe I'll still leave branch here on the x-axis, and I want to put date from date hierarchy on the y-axis. Okay, so let me change this branch from branch to Um, let me put pizza because, as I say, this is a pizza company. So we see the pizza types here. Okay. Sorry, I think I made a slight miscalculation here. So let me just undo what I just did. Um, okay. So this was the branch was in the x-axis and the parameter was in the y-axis. Okay. Okay. So let me create another parameter because I want to show you how you can combine two parameters together. Like one parameter will have one field and another parameter will have another field, right? And then we can now do the legend so that you can see how it works that way. I think let me just do that step first so that we don't get confused. Then I'm going to so already no remember I'm comparing the sales by branch, right? And I'm also adding quantity and number of orders. Let's say I also want to see I don't just want to see branch. I want to see maybe like pizza because I have pizza types here too. So I'm going to create a new parameter that contains both branch and pizza. So let's do that. We go to modeling, then we go under new parameter, we click on fields, and I'm going to call this parameter 2. So I say this parameter will have both branch and it will have pizza type. You can find pizza type under sales data. Great. So I'm going to create. Let me just see if there's any question. If you have 100 or 150 branches, um, you just have to do a matrix or a table in my own point of view, like because there is going to be like they are going to like for this person that asked this question, I think Victor, it's just going to be too cumbersome if in order to display 100 or 150 branches at once, right? So you have to use a different type of chart for that. That is like either use the matrix or a normal table, or you can if you must use a chart, maybe a bar chart or a column chart, you have to do maybe top 20 or top 10 so that it does not look too bulky, right? So you see the best performing branches. Okay, so let me just continue. So I've created my new parameter, which is branch and pizza, right? So I'm going to add that new parameter to this um, existing chart, and it's going to replace this branch. I'm going to take out this branch, and I'm going to put in parameter 2, right? So with this parameter 2, you can watch. Let me just expand this. You can watch me compare between pizza or toggle between pizza and branch with quantity or total number of orders by pizza and branch, you know. So this is a very interesting way to see your visuals. So another thing I was saying earlier on, you can also put your parameter 1 on the legend and parameter 2 on the y-axis. And let's say you're comparing it by manager. I mean, we want to see it by date. Let me put the date, sorry. Let me put date from the date hierarchy down here. Okay, I see the mistake. Parameter 1 will be here, and parameter 2 will be on the legend. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to be, right? Sorry for the back and forth. Let me just expand it a little bit. So this, let me just drill up so you see the initial beauty. And let me choose branch so that it's not too bulky. All right, so let me explain this again. So now what I've successfully done here is that I've added my dates to my visualization. So for my date here, I can now see um by branch, because I put branch and total sales and I also added dates. So I can see per year 2018, 2019, 2020, and I can see the branches, the branches that the total sales by branch by the legends, right? That is by this color. So what I did, I just put this parameter one. I put the parameter one, which is the total sales, total quantity, and number of order on the y-axis. That is the data part, and the legend is either branch or pizza, right? So that's giving me this. So you can also use field parameter to get this too. So this is basically what I wanted to teach you guys today. So if you have any questions, I'll be really happy to answer.
So I see a Victor from a question from Victor. Are you able to see the question too, or should I
Yes,
read
yes. I
it?
thought I already answered it. I told him that
Oh, okay, okay.
that 100 or 150 branches, like it's come back from like, and it's not advised. Like if you must present 100 or 150 branches, you have to put it on a table or maybe on a matrix, so that it's going to show as a list.
On the
But if you
list.
must, yeah,
Yeah,
if it must now be as a visual, that means you need to do maybe top 20, so that the top 20 maybe transacting or total top 20 highest sales by sales will show. Because if you
yeah,
want to present it's not going to make any sense. Even this one self, like if I do it by pizza, you can see how
yeah,
somehow it is like it's not this one. Pizza numbers are just like 14. Imagine if it's 100.
yeah. Makes sense.
So
So, or maybe he looks for another broad category, maybe by region,
yeah,
or
by region or
something
something. Yeah.
more compact. Okay. Any other questions from anyone else? So Kuban is asking a question.
Okay. Okay, nice one, Victor. So the parameters can use both yes, the parameters can use both measures and columns. It's not limited. I used both measures and columns here. Like I've been using this parameter one are all measures. I got them from my measure table. Total sales, total quantity, and number of orders here. They're all measures. You could also use columns though. It depends on what you want, but as I said, it is not limited to anyone. Resource file. Okay, this I did not like is the maybe I will have to share you my the original document. Is a PD is a P Power BI like file extension. It's not like Excel or anything. So this information were already there. I did not like bring them inside during the course of the webinar, right? Like the so basically anyway, I'm still going to share it. When you want to watch the video tomorrow, it's going to be you're going to see there where you can download it when you want to practice. Yeah. Okay.
I see someone's
Somebody is asking.
Dogun.
Yeah.
Okay, go on. I will promote. So Sunday, I'll make you have the ability to unmute and speak, so that you can ask your question. I see your hand is up. Okay, so I've given you the ability to unmute and speak. Brian, you wanted to also say something.
No, 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 I'm waiting for Sundays to speak.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good
Yes,
evening.
good evening. I'm struggling to hear you.
Sorry, yeah, we can't hear you.
Are you with me?
No, we can't
So,
hear you still.
from Excel to Power BI.
Sorry, please repeat your question again. I
Hello?
can't. We didn't hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now. Repeat your question.
I think his network is bad. If you can type it, maybe we will
Yeah,
eventually hear, because we can't
From
hear
Excel to
anything
Power
you're
BI.
saying.
I know you're
Okay.
saying something from Excel to Power BI, but what are you trying to like? Just I don't know what I don't know the
Can
question.
you
Excel.
can you import the data from Excel to Power BI?
Oh,
Yes,
finally,
What
we
are
hear.
definitely. You can import your
what are
data
the
from.
quantity of data? Or what are the quantity of data you can import from Excel to Power BI?
From
Whatever
my own.
can stay inside Excel can enter
Yeah,
Power
enter
BI.
Power BI.
Because
There is no
Excel has
limit.
more limitations data or quantity
Okay.
wise compared to Power BI.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
sure. You can import data. In fact, Power BI is you can use Power BI for a whole lot of things. Like if you come here and see get data, you can see how many the many options you can use to. Let me even click on more so you see how it is. You can see the many options you can use to import data from. So it's not just Excel. It's not even built for just Excel. You use it for basically SQL. Many anywhere your data is located, Power BI has made their services really vast to able to connect to multiple sources. And there are a lot of things you can do while it's connected. So Excel is not live data. It's mostly static. So that one is there, but you can even over time you can connect it to Power BI and you can also do reports based on those live data. Okay. Okay. So the sequence is create a visual, create parameter, click on visual and add parameter. Yes, I agree with you. That's the sequence. You create your visual, then create a parameter. You could create your parameter still, the idea is just to ensure that you put your parameter in one of your X or Y axis. Do you get? You know, let it replace what you originally put in there. I'm trying to answer Kuban's question. Okay. Okay. Please let me know if anyone else has questions.
Okay. So yes, if there are is cube are some people's hands still up? Let me just confirm. Oh, I see Cuban's hands up. So let me also make him a
Somebody's
presenter.
knocking. Somebody's knocking.
So
What does
Can,
legend
can,
represent?
can you hear me?
yes, now we
Yeah,
can.
yes, we
Oh,
can hear
oh,
you.
yeah. Sorry, it's going. So I guess in the in the when you add measures or columns to the parameter, basically DAX is creating leveraging create table function. Is that what it's doing behind the scene?
Yes, it does
Oh, okay.
some name of there's a particular DAX that gets created underneath name of field. But yes, there's a DAX underneath that will be created. You will see the DAX actually, after you drag fields into field parameters, you will see the DAX.
Yes.
Okay, so it's creating that calculated table. I guess I'm not sure if that is correct, but that's what it's called, right? Calculated table. What's it's created?
What it creates is it's a measure, actually. It's a measure. Okay. Do you want to click on some of them for me?
Like this.
Yeah, you see these ones, yes.
Just a measure.
Uh,
So even when you go to your table view, you see that it's still the same thing. You just created these two tables are hidden. Why this is the one like this is what you could create. That is what you added the names of the fields. Why this is like the locations. So this is automatically just DAX. So like even when you want to, you saw when I was trying to edit, when I tried to put number of orders here, because originally I just put total sales and total quantity. So when I was trying to put number of orders here, I had to come here because like I couldn't, even if I go to that edit parameters under transform data, I won't still be able to like edit the parameters from there. And I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
I hope
Thank you
we
very
answered the
much.
question. All right.
Yes, yes. Thanks.
Okay, someone else asked a question. What does legend represent? So cool. So like now, this looking at this chart here. So remember this we are talking about we are comparing branch to total sales. In the branch we just have 5 branches. We have Bagada, we have Ibadan, we have Ikoyi, we have Lekki, and we have Surulere, right? So this is where legend comes in. You know, you have to so you want like for example the way we designed the way we created this visual, right? We want each branch to take a section of the bar, right? So when it takes that section, it colors it a particular color, right? So like if you hover over the blue here at the bottom, you can see it's Bagada, and here is blue. So this is legend. This is how to use. This is legend in a nutshell, like using colors to represent a percentage or a fraction of a particular chart. It could be a pie chart, it could be a bar chart, it could be a column chart, or anything. Hope you got that. Okay, nice one. Okay, thank you. Yes, it's a very cool way to add interactions to report because, rather than create in a situation whereby you don't want to create a whole lot of visuals, like to bore your people to maybe make it look too bulky. You just want to put one or two specific visuals, and those particular visuals you're adding, you can even this same thing I did here, you could actually style it to be, look different. For example, this parameter 2 here. So, for example, we could even um go and format it. It's a slicer, so we format the slicer. You can make it like a tile. Mm, let's expand it a little. Okay. Okay. I guess because of the way anyway, okay, here this is what I was looking for. I wanted it to be horizontal. So you can actually, style it to be like this, single select. So we style it in a way that okay, this is just what you're trying to present. So all what they have to come and do is just to come and be toggling between one like what they want to see and what they don't want to see, right? Like the end users of the report. So you can style it up and present it like this as your report, as your final report, rather than adding, different charts for sales by branch, quantity by branch, total number of orders by branch. Okay, thank you, Hakim. Yes, the slicers are great too. Then yeah, slicers generally that's what they're used for, use it to filter your report based on how you want it to be filtered. You're welcome. So again, I posted the link to a blog. Let me just post it again at the bottom. Um, um, as I said, my colleague wrote an article on field parameters. So in case you enjoy reading, you can, and it's very visually um, interesting. There are pictures there to show you how to achieve all these things we just said. So you can go there at your spare time. It's just like a 3 minutes read, if not less than. You can actually read it and always have it handy to guide you. Uh, Adding dates, yes, I think you'll be able to add dates to parameters. Um, no, I've not really explored that, but I think you'll be able to do that. Sorry, Michael, do you know more about this?
What's the question? I was
Whether
multitasking.
we
Can
can
you add
add
date to
dates,
the
parameters.
parameter? I assume so that you can select certain dates. If you want to select, to be sincere, for field parameters, right? It's not selective of the column type. So whether what you add to it is it's a number type of field column, field, or it's a categorical text type of field, or it's in this case, like you said, dates. Just that it won't make sense if you have like plenty dates, day by day, and then it pops up in that way. It might not make sense. Maybe if you have like quarters and years, maybe it might make sense. But typically for date, we always take date more as the kind of things uh that you use for dimensioning, put on slicer, put on filter. So if you ask me, I would say that, if you're using field parameters, most of the use cases are, you have the date dimension as something that you have set up the way you want. And then you will now set field parameters for the kind of insights or computations that people want to see across. So I want to see, some select fields, and not all the time I want to see all the fields. Then I begin to pick the different level of aggregation people want to see. Maybe they want to see revenue, expenses, things that are really, really different, but not necessarily like they want to start to select which month they want to see for, because essentially too, I don't think you're going to have if you will not have columns that are like dates, because you know what you are picking and creating the field parameters around. So you find out that a lot of times dates end up in your slicer and not as something you want to put in a field parameter. Okay. I hope that's helpful for the person. Brian, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, all right. Do you think we can close now, or you think
I
I'm
think,
still?
yeah, I think, I don't know. Nobody has asked any question again, like for the past 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so someone asked, so how, okay, yeah, the replay will be ready by latest Monday morning before 11 or 12, 10 p.m., 10 a.m. Nigerian time. It should be ready by then.
Okay. So I guess in that case, thank you everyone. So thank you very much. We'll end the session now then. Thanks, Brian, for the session. Thanks to everyone who asked questions. You know, made it interactive. I hope you've learned
Yeah.
something. And see you next. Let me, before I close the session, just share if you can give us a feedback via the feedback link. Let me just grab that on my feedback. Okay, so I'm sharing that now. Just give us a feedback on today's session and let us know which types of sessions you want us to do, you know, topics you want us to talk more on for you. Okay, so thank you very much and see you again next week. Bye. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Michael.